Have you ever just been so annoyed by getting laser beamed by rocket launchers or mortars or anything like that in Armory Forger? Well, do I have some absolutely insane news for you guys, because there has been an addition that is coming to 1.6 that is going to flip everybody on their head, and that feature is wind affected projectiles. Every projectile in the game is now going to be affected by wind speed. That includes rocket launchers, mortars, bullets, helicopter rockets, flares, everything. Everything is now affected by the wind. And of course, if the wind is more intense, well, good luck hitting your shots. The whole point of this video is for me to sit down with you guys, pretty much show you what this wind affected projectile system is like, and kind of to get you guys ready for what is probably going to be a very frustrating adjustment period. But I think in the eyes of the broader community, I think it is an awesome change, and it adds a lot more skillful play to the game. So I want to start this video off by demonstrating first off the RPG rockets. Now this system affects like I said, every projectile in the game. But for this instance, I'm not going to go through each and every individual rocket or mortar round. It is just to show you how this is going to affect gameplay. So, as you can see, the way that you can really identify the wind speed is by looking at the grass, looking at the trees, and even if you're playing on the new Colgave map soon, looking at smokestacks. That is a very good way to try and gauge a good idea on the direction of the wind, as well as the speed of the wind. Now in this instance, I know for a fact that the wind is moving in an easterly direction, so from east to west, at around about 10 meters a second. Now that's obviously based on the fact that I've set that in Game Master. You'll be able to kind of get a grasp as you become more familiar with the system. Now as you can see out here, I've got a few targets. I've got some infantry targets and I've got some BMP targets. Now I just want to show you what this does. So what I have here is my RPG optic, and given that the wind is moving at about 10 meters a second, and this thing is going to be in the air for about 3 seconds at 200 meters. I'm going to say that the rocket is going to land anywhere between the 2, 3, maybe even 4 mark on the left side of the reticle. That's what those side numbers are for. I'm going to aim roughly 200 meters, as you can see on the top line here, and it should land anywhere between that 3 and 4 mark. Okay, so it just landed at the 3 mark, but that is the wind, right? So I want to hit this target. I need to move over here, anywhere between 3 and 4. I was a bit over, but as you can see, it is a very obvious change, and it'll be something you'll notice as soon as you start playing 1.6. Now a lot of people were asking, and you probably maybe saw the live stream. If you have, I'm not sure why you're watching the video, because we went through all of this, but I appreciate you being here nonetheless. People were saying that mortars are not affected. Now, we've debunked this. Mortars are affected by the wind, and I'm going to show you a quick example of these. Now, this is going to mess a lot of people up, because I think this is going to sort of invalidate the mortar calculators now. You know, obviously players will not be able to get an accurate idea on what the wind speed is on a server, unless of course they're an admin. But in saying that, I feel like this is going to sort of invalidate those online mortar calculators. And you know what? It may also invalidate the ballistic manual. Let me have a look here. Yeah, see, there's no average dispersion of 69 meters. There's nothing about the wind here. With that being said, y'all are going to need some spotters now, because this, you could just be sending rounds down range and they could be landing in the next town over. Now, of course, that might be a bit of an exaggeration, but they're not going to be accurate, and you're not going to be getting the desired effect. Now, as you can see, I've roughly got the mortar lined up to that orange tree at the crossroad intersection there. So that's where I'm aiming. That's where I want my mortar rounds to hit. So I'm going to send a round down range. Let's see where it lands. Now, judging by what we just saw with the RPG-7, the round is going to land anywhere out here on the left. For this, I'm just going to bump up the wind speed fuel to 15 meters a second in an easterly direction. Let's try another go. And as you can see, it landed, you know, a little bit further to the left than we wanted. So we need to make corrections for that. So let's give a rough correction, maybe about here. And this will be sort of important, I think, on live servers. Especially if you're trying to have an effective mortar team. You will need spotters. You will need the recon team to actually be doing what they're doing, right? At least in my brain, that's how it should work. But there we go. That's where we wanted. As well as that, you guys are probably wondering, what about bullets? Bullets are affected, and it's not as obvious as the rockets, the thicker projectiles, right? But I'm going to show you, maybe the distance isn't long enough, but I'll see what we can do here. Let's just see. As you can see, the bullets are hitting the target, but if I aim up here, you can see that the traces are diverging left. Maybe, just. So over a longer distance, the bullets do start to lose momentum and start to get pushed by the wind. And now, helicopters. This is gonna be interesting for some pilots, I think. It's really, like, realistically, it's not that big of a change, but you can see the change, right? Now, a lot of people may be asking, does the wind actually affect the helicopter? And I don't believe it does. It doesn't really feel like it does. It's not getting pushed around or anything, so that's just by my my experience. Alright, guys. Let's watch these rockets fly. As you can see, they do a little twist and a turn. They're not actually straight like they used to be. As you can see right here, they're twisting over each other. But they don't deviate as much. So, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to showcase to you guys, and just something that I want you to keep in the back of your heads, because it is going to have a pretty detrimental effect on how you play the game, especially on a map like Kolgiev, where your engagements may be, you know, at longer distances, especially maybe if you're trying to hold the hill and you're looking down on the entire map. So let me know what you guys think about this change. I think it is a really cool addition to the game. Yeah, look at that, the flare goes too. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys out there on the battlefield.